All right, this is gonna be my first fishing video that I'm gonna post up on YouTube. It's gonna be a big change to my channel. If you go on my YouTube or my Instagram, you're gonna see a whole lot of lifting videos. While I still lift for fun because I love it, I don't do it competitively anymore. I fish a whole lot more, and it's something that I've done my whole life. Consistently a whole lot, except for the last basically 8-9 years living out here in Vegas. I haven't really explored it a whole lot. Just never really thought Lake Mead was something that I should put a whole lot of time and effort into. And I always thought, hey, you need, a bass boat to get around and to fish. And, just recently, unfortunately, I found that that's totally not true. There's miles and miles and miles of shoreline that is easily accessible by foot, and not only can you catch fish, on foot, but you can definitely do it in a kayak, which I have just recently started doing, and I have been moderately successful. And before anybody says, "Oh, you caught 5 fish on Lake Mead, so now you're an expert," no, I'm not by any means. Literally, if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see pretty much every fish that I've caught out of Lake Mead, which adds up to just a few more than you can count on 2 hands, if that, with the exception of 1 or 2 that I didn't post. So I'm by no means any kind of expert or professional. However, I have caught fish, and I have found a few things to be consistent, meaning I can take a few things out to Lake Mead and fish with them and consistently catch fish or get bit with my line in the water. So with that said, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because getting into fishing out here on Lake Mead, I did quite a few Google searches, YouTube searches for information. What do you use? What do you when you fish on Lake Mead? What are people throwing out there? What are they using to catch fish? Well, there's not a whole lot. I mean, you'll see videos where people are fishing on Lake Mead, but literally they're just videos of them fishing, and they don't get into really a whole lot of detail about what they're using, what are they targeting, what kind of structure, how deep are they fishing, etc., etc. So I wanted to share what I know, because I'm sure there are lots of people out there who are skeptical about fishing Lake Mead. A, they probably don't think fishing's a whole lot, or fishing out there is very good. B, they don't think that it's accessible. The lake's it's huge, and they think, oh, I got to have a boat. Well, you don't. Like I said, there's miles and miles of accessible shoreline from foot. So I'm hopefully going to make quite a few videos regarding fishing, and specifically fishing on Lake Mead. But this first one I'm going to do is just going to focus on what I have used and been successful with. And I'm just going to pinpoint and show you and talk about several of the baits that I've used recently. And since I started, I guess the end of May, beginning of June, when I really started to actually fish on Lake Mead. So some of these baits might be more summertime, warm weather type baits, but there's a few that you could pretty much use year round and catch fish with. So yeah, let's just look at some of these baits. So right off the bat, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it seems like to me, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe somebody will comment, it seems to me that the main forage for the bass in Lake Mead, be it largemouth, smallmouth, or even striper, their main forage or food source is going to be shad. It seems to me to be the most prevalent food source. I see it, the striper boils, I see them all over the lake. So if I were telling someone who's never fished Lake Mead before, hey, this is what you should do, I would say find a bait that mimics a gizzard shad or a threadfin shad, because I know those are the two shad that are present in Lake Mead. So I'll start off, and I'll just show you, and I'll start with this one because this seems to be the bait that I have probably gotten hit or bit the most, and that's my little spook. It's not a big one. I think this is a junior. I don't know, is that 3.5 inches long? Makes a little bit of noise, but this is a chrome blue color. Any spook or popar, sexy dog, similar type bait to this that's got a shad color to it is going to produce fish. Maybe an off-white color might work better than this. I don't know, but I've gotten quite a few bites on this bait right here. The next bait that's produced quite a few fish and quite a few hits would be this shad bait. It's just a little swim bait right here. It's, I want to say that's again about 3.5 inches long. It's actually a boss shad. It's just a single hook. I want to say this is 1/2 ounce. I'm not totally sure, but it's a boss shad, Bass Pro Shops. This right here, if you're out on Lake Mead and you see a boil, you throw this out there and they're going to eat it. The stripers are going to eat this for sure. And I definitely have gotten quite a few hits from largemouth and smallmouth on this bait right here. So that's another shad type bait that's going to produce. Another bait that I've caught fish with is bucktail jig. Just white. You can get these at Bass Pro as well. I put the soft plastic, I guess, jerk bait on it as like a trailer for body. You can really kind of do what you want as far as color is concerned. But anyways, I've caught striper on these. It mimics a shad. The way that I've caught striper on these is to throw it out, let it sink, jerk it up, let it fall, jerk it. So it's called yo-yoing, is what we refer to it as when I spent some time fishing on the Tennessee River, Lake Gunnersville in Alabama, and growing up. So that's what we would call it, yo-yoing. So you throw it out, let it sink, jerk it up, let it fall. And there's lots of different ways you can do that, a whole lot of different tempos you can use with the amount of time you're letting it fall before you jerk it back up, the depth that you're fishing it, the speed with which you're doing that. You're really just going to have to figure out what they want that day. But the bucktail jig will definitely produce. So that was number 3. The 4th bait that I've used with success, where I've actually caught fish, this football head jig. And really any kind of jig like this is probably going to be successful, because another forage for largemouth and smallmouth bass in Lake Mead are going to be crawfish. They're there. I've seen them. This is just a football head jig. I want to say it's 3/4 ounce. And I have a Yum. Let me get a little closer so you can see this. I have a Yum Crawbug. It's more or less 3D as the trailer on here, so that just gives it a little bit better look. But that right there I've caught fish with. Moving along, another bait that I've caught fish with, one of the better fish that I've caught with, or I've caught out on Lake Mead, was caught on this. This is a Storm chicken shad. This is 5 inches long, and it's a bluegill color or bluegill pattern. And I actually caught my fish with this. I was fishing in roughly 20 foot of water, and basically I threw it out, let it sink. I was fishing over the top of a little bit of vegetation down at the bottom, so I wasn't letting it sink all the way to the bottom. I was letting it get pretty close to the bottom before it would hit that vegetation, and then I just started reeling it in, slow rolling it, and I caught a fish with that. And I'm sure that you could definitely take that bait or any other swim bait similar to that and throw it over the ends of points or anywhere where you see structure in deeper water, and slow roll across there and get hit. I have not caught any fish on crankbaits. I've thrown some that dive 15 plus foot. Haven't had any luck with that. But one bait that I just recently threw just the other day and caught a nice little smallmouth on was a Senko. This is one of the larger ones. Let me get my rod, because it's tied up. So this is a wacky rig. It's a Nico. It's actually a Nico rig, 7 Senko. I want to say it's a watermelon with a red fleck is the color. I could be wrong. Green watermelon, I don't know. Bass Pro. So it's one of the bigger ones. I think that's 7 inches, 6 or 7, I don't know. Anywho, it's a straight shank hook. This is a weedless hook. Let me move a little closer. But I like to use the O-ring because you save your Senkos last a little bit longer. And then I want to say this is a 1/32 ounce jig head that I snipped the hook off of and just stuck it in the end. And so when I'm fishing it, I've got the hook up and it's literally coming across the bottom like this. So it's standing straight up and I'm just dragging it across the bottom, and that worked for me. I actually caught that fish at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So when it's hot and the fish aren't too active and they're down deep and you want something to kind of finesse them, that will definitely work. And I've definitely heard of people using, you know, Senkos, either Texas rigged, wacky rigged, however you want to rig them. I'm pretty sure you could throw just about any Senko out there and catch fish. I don't know what the heck that thing's supposed to look like, but I know they like it and they'll eat it. So those are the baits that I've used just recently to catch fish on Lake Mead. Again, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert, I'm just a dude who likes to fish and just recently got a kayak and started putting it in the water, and I've caught fish. So like I said, I really just wanted to share this because I know that there are probably a lot of people out there who are a little tentative to go out on Lake Mead because they're just not sure what to do, and there's not a whole lot of information out there other than what you can find on a fishing report, which, you know, who knows the last time when that's been updated, or, you know, whatever's on the DNR site for, you know, what, just their basic guidelines. With some of the stuff they say on there is pretty true, but, you know, what are people actually doing? Like word of mouth, like from someone who's actually gone out on Lake Mead, what are they doing? So that's what I've had success with. I know there are some other people who have used frogs in the grass. If you find grass, throw a frog on top of it, and you're probably going to get bit. I've seen some guys on Instagram who have been successful with that. So you know, if someone asks me, Zach, what do I do? I'm going to be out on Lake Mead. What I just showed you is what I would tell them to do. So I hope that's been helpful. I do plan on making another video this weekend when I get out on the lake. Hopefully it's not too crazy out there Labor Day weekend, but I'm going to hopefully make another video to show you the structure and the actual stuff in the water where I'm actually throwing these baits. And hopefully I can get into the specifics of, you know, each bait, where I'll throw it, how I'll work it, and what I'm actually looking for to try to find fish. So I hope this was informative, and yeah, look forward to the next one.